Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw... Wait a second. Hey, didn't they literally buff the Rakta Ballistica last week? Like, right after I put my video out on it? Wait, so they buffed it again? Like, a lot? Like enough for me to have to make another video on it? Fuck! So it has literally been 1 week since I released my review on the Rakta Ballistica, and here I thought I was in the clear. But apparently the buff train is still relentlessly plowing through the relevance of my content. Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the buffage were great, but Phase 3 is fully engorged and bursting with goodness. Now, you're gonna hear some repeat info because, frankly, I can't be bothered to rewrite the whole thing. However, the new stuff is ready for insertion. So, you can pick up the Rakta Ballistica for 100,000 standing, once you've reached max rank with the Red Veil. However, as we all know, all Virgin Syndicate weapons are completely tradable, meaning that it has not gained any inappropriate experience or had any catalyst or forma inserted anywhere. So, you can either check out Trade Chat, or, my personal favorite, make some friends in the right places, and all you'll have to do is trade a couple favors. The kind of favors you trade are all up to you. So as compared to the original, the Rakta Ballistica trades a little slashing and impact for even more puncture. And, as we know, puncture does quite well against armored factions like the Grineer or the robotic units of the Corpus. Just be aware that it does have some issues against Corpus shielding and the Infested. So as always, be sure to use the appropriate elemental combos in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. Now, for those of you who have never used the original Ballistica, let's go over some basics. First and foremost, it's got two different modes of fire. A single click will cause it to fire a volley of 4 bolts. Note that in this mode, its bolts have a horizontal spread. Fully charging the Ballistica fires a single shot dealing full damage and has innate physics impact, allowing slain targets to strike enemies in a line dealing damage to any additional units caught in its trajectory. Think of this as the less sexy version of running a train. Everybody in line gets a little fucked. Also, take note that unlike its bow counterparts, its charged shots do not have innate punch-through. However, the Rakta edition is now silent, and its bolts do not arc over long distances like traditional arrows, making it quite accurate just as long as you're good at leading your targets. Now, as compared to the original, aside from the shift in its damage spread, and the fact that it's silent, the Rakta Ballistica's base damage has shot through the roof, dealing 3 times the original's base damage, which officially gives it the largest damage increase versus the original amongst all of the Syndicate weapons. It also has an increased magazine capacity, allowing you to fire off 1 more flurry of bolts for a total of 5 bursts before having to reload. It also has an increased critical chance, which allows you to hit 50% with a max pistol gambit. However, do note that it only has a critical multiplier of 1.5, so you may not get as much bang for your mod capacity if you try to outfit it with a full crit build. So in addition to its most recent buffs, it sports an even deadlier upgrade. The Red Veil version spreads more viruses than a stripper during Gay Pride weekend. With Blight innately built in, after gaining enough affinity while using the weapon, it'll deal 1,000 points of viral damage within a 25-meter radius, restore 25% of your base energy, and provide an additional 10% base movement speed for 30 seconds. Now, as with all Syndicate radial effects, this has a 100% chance to trigger its status, which is viral, which halves an enemy's max health. Now honestly, at lower levels this doesn't mean much, but at higher levels it can be a complete game changer if you can manage to find the right loadout. Now that another set of buffs are in, can we talk? Okay, so the Rakta Ballistica is undeniably awesome. Its buffs and radial effect put it alongside the Synode Gamma Core for usability. However, I still only kind of like it. The fact is, down deep at its core, I'm not the biggest fan of its mechanics, and regardless of how buffed it's gotten, it doesn't mean I'll enjoy using it. Think of it this way, if someone's an asshole, regardless of how buff he is and how big his dick is, it does not change the fact that he's an asshole. Sure, you might be a little more willing to spend some time with him and even play around a little bit to see exactly how hard he shoots. But at the end of the day, that little bastard's base mechanics are still gonna get on your last nerve. The fact is, we all have different playstyles, and frankly, I prefer someone who's a little less sloppy when it comes to his burst. Seriously, don't get that shit on my couch. People have to sit there. So, that's enough of my upholstery OCD. Let's get back to the quick draw. So all in all, the recent buffs to the Rakta Ballistica are quite substantial. Paired with its innate ability to trigger Blight, its usability has definitely skyrocketed. It also comes with an additional V polarity slot, which should help with modding. However, it still retains the D polarity from the original, which sadly is in a very annoying spot. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here. It's a great weapon if you enjoy the weapon type. However, its mechanics are drastically different from the standard full auto or semi-automatic secondaries. Using its burst mode doesn't allow you to rest your finger on the trigger, otherwise it'll cause you to start up a charged shot instead. And also the horizontal recoil is something that takes a bit of getting used to. That aside, for those who enjoy its playstyle, the newly upgraded Rakta Ballistica will prove to be a big shot. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. Be sure to check out the original Rakta Ballistica episode in case you want to compare and contrast, as well as the previous Quick Draw on the Sancti Castanas. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more videos that I'll probably have to update in another week's time, here at A Gay Guy Plays. Well, that was convenient.